Hello and welcome to another episode of the CUFI Weekly. And as we record this, there is currently a ceasefire between the United States of America and the regime in Iran. The exact details of the ceasefire aren't particularly clear, as there seems to be some misunderstandings floating around. The regime in Iran believed that Lebanon would be included. The United States have said Lebanon was never going to be included. And the IDF are still fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon and striking Hezbollah targets. The Straits of Hormuz are supposed to be reopened to shipping, but as of reports today as I record this, ships are being turned back. Now, as we look at what has happened over the last month or so, the strikes against the regime in Iran have been devastating. They've eliminated some of the worst violators of human rights, the rights of the Iranian people. Look, there can be no mistake that the regime in Iran is a nefarious, evil regime. Since 1979, it has chanted death to America, and finally, there were consequences to the regime's actions. It's very easy for us to condemn the actions of striking the regime. It's very easy for us to say, well, this was wrong, or this may never happen. But history is always easier to look back at and assess. What if when Hitler and the Nazis had marched into the demilitarized zone between France and Germany, we had responded? Would that have ended the Nazi war machine? Would that have ended Hitler's global aspirations? Well, yes. Hitler himself has said that if he had been stopped when he marched into the demilitarized zone, that would have been the end. He would have turned back. But we appeased, we allowed, we thought we had time. What if during the Gulf War, when Saddam had invaded Kuwait, and a coalition gathered under the name Operation Desert Shield, which became Operation Desert Storm, to liberate Kuwait, what if Saddam Hussein had had nuclear weapons? And he very likely could have, if it had not been for the Israeli Air Force striking the Osirak nuclear reactor years before during Operation Opera. Israel was condemned for that, but as history showed, it prevented a nuclear-armed Saddam invading Kuwait. At the time, we don't see the bigger picture, we just see what's in front of us. And no American wants another war in the Middle East. No American wants American soldiers, boots on the ground in the Middle East, and that is completely understandable. But if we could stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons and not have to deal with a nuclear-powered regime which has spread terror and mayhem all over the world, it is a good thing. And what's really interesting, there's two facets of this. There's the actual conflict which has been fought, and there's also how it's been perceived and the reactions of so many people. And it's really interesting to me that these so-called talking heads, these people who claim to be America first, they're cheering on a regime which the staple of it has been the chant death to America since 1979. These same talking heads who tell you over and over and over again, remember the USS Liberty. And what happened to the USS Liberty was a tragedy. Nobody is denying that. And it's been investigated. Compensation was paid to those sailors. In conflict, in war, terrible things happen. While our brave men and women fight for this country, while they take a sacred oath and fight for the United States, you have these people with huge reaches downplaying the importance of what they do.
Get dishonorably discharged. Who cares? Who cares? Why should you go die in a foreign land? You now have the benefit of 2020. You can see, think about those men and those women who died because they were pitched that they were serving their country because there were weapons of mass destruction, right? They were serving their country because the Taliban, they were serving their country, whatever, and these people gave up their lives. And ask yourselves for what? And the answer to that question is for the elites. They're like toy soldiers.
These people who claim to be Christians, but never in their careers have they actually acted like Christians. Never have they actually implemented the words of the Bible. They just use it as some sort of tag or t-shirt. It's just another money-making scheme. By claiming to be Christians, by claiming to speak for Christians, they try and use that identity politics to divide further. And we must see straight through this horrible facade. We must judge them by their actions, not their words. And when they claim to be Christians over and over again and speak for Christianity, yet in their words, they are harsh, they are cruel, they denigrate others, they lie, they obscure the truth for their own agenda, it tells you everything you need to know. This is Kasim Hafeez for the CUFI Weekly. For Zion's sake, do not remain silent. Thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe so you get a notification every time a new episode hits. And if you want to check out some of our previous episodes, and we've got some really good ones, click on one of the thumbnails and that will take you right there. And finally, if you want to know more about CUFI and the work we do, go to CUFI.org to check out all the resources we have available free to you.